The judge mocked the veteran's medals as fake, then a general entered and stopped everything. The courtroom was silent, until the laughter began. It started with a snicker from one corner, then spread like wildfire. The old man in the witness box sat motionless, his back straight despite the tremor in his hands. His uniform was worn but spotless. On his chest gleamed a collection of medals, some dull with age, others shining proudly under the courtroom lights. But to the judge, they were nothing more than props. "Mr. Harris," the judge said, his voice dripping with sarcasm, "you expect this court to believe you're a war hero. These medals, are they from a costume shop?" The laughter grew louder. Even the opposing lawyer smirked. But the old man, William Harris, retired sergeant, veteran of 2 wars, did not flinch. He simply looked up at the judge, his gray eyes calm but heavy with stories too deep for words. "Your Honor," he said softly, "I don't expect you to believe me. I just came for justice, not applause." The judge rolled his eyes. "Justice? For a man who forged military awards? Save your speeches, Mr. Harris. You've wasted enough of this court's time." William's attorney, a young public defender named Emily Carter, jumped to her feet. "Your Honor, these accusations are baseless. My client served honorably." The judge banged his gavel. "Sit down, counselor. Unless you have proof, I won't entertain fairy tales." William lowered his gaze. His weathered fingers brushed the medal shaped like a star, his brother's medal. He'd kept it close ever since that night in Kandahar, the night he lost half his unit and came home a broken man. Now, years later, he was being called a liar. The case had started simply. William had been evicted from his old apartment when the landlord claimed he'd fallen behind on rent. The veteran insisted he'd paid in full, but his landlord laughed, saying no one would believe an old soldier with fake medals and crazy war stories. When William tried to fight back legally, the system turned against him. Now, even the judge seemed determined to humiliate him. Emily whispered, "Don't worry, Mr. Harris. We'll find a way." He smiled faintly. "Miss Carter, you remind me of the medics in the field, small, but full of fire." The judge cleared his throat. "If there are no further witnesses, I'll pass judgment." Just then, the heavy wooden doors at the back of the courtroom creaked open. Everyone turned. A tall man stepped in, broad shoulders, crisp uniform, medals gleaming in the sunlight that spilled through the windows. His presence filled the room like a thunderclap. The bailiff straightened immediately, whispering, "General Marcus Bennett." The judge blinked, flustered. "General Bennett, what brings you here?" The general's boots echoed as he approached the bench. He stopped beside William Harris, his expression unreadable. "Proceedings concerning Sergeant William Harris." The judge stammered, "Yes, General, but this man is accused of falsifying his military record." Before he could finish, the general's voice cut through the air. "Falsifying?" He turned toward William. "Sergeant Harris, do you still keep that photograph from Kandahar?" William's eyes softened. "Always, sir." He reached into his pocket and handed over a folded, worn picture. The general unfolded it carefully. It showed a younger William in a torn uniform, dragging a wounded soldier through the desert under heavy fire, while helicopters blazed in the background. The wounded soldier in that photo was General Bennett himself. The courtroom gasped. The general's voice trembled slightly. "This man carried me out of a firefight. I was unconscious when the explosion hit. He saved my life, lost 3 friends that night, and never once asked for recognition. Every medal on that chest was earned with blood, sweat, and sacrifice." He turned toward the judge, his eyes blazing. "And you dared mock him?" The judge's face turned pale. His gavel hand shook. I didn't know." "That's the problem," the general said sharply. "You never cared to know. You saw an old man and assumed he was a liar. You saw medals and thought of props. You saw humility and mistook it for weakness." Silence fell again. Even the lawyer who had laughed earlier now looked down, ashamed. The general placed a firm hand on William's shoulder. "The army may forget names, but we never forget the men who carried us home. Sergeant Harris is a hero, and if this court has any honor left, it should start by apologizing." The judge cleared his throat, voice cracking. "Mr. Harris, Sergeant Harris, I owe you an apology." William looked up, not angry, not vengeful, just tired. "Apology accepted, Your Honor. I didn't come here to humiliate anyone. I just wanted what was fair." The general smiled. "And that's what makes you the man you are." The court dismissed the false charges, and the landlord who had mocked him was ordered to pay damages. Emily hugged William as tears filled her eyes. Outside, the sun was setting. The veteran stood quietly on the courthouse steps, medals glinting in the golden light. People who had laughed at him earlier now approached with respect, some even saluting. General Bennett turned to him. "You could have called me, you know." William chuckled. Didn't want to trouble a general over an old man's rent case. The general smiled. "You didn't trouble me, Sergeant. You reminded everyone what real honor looks like." As the two men walked off together, Emily watched them go, 2 generations of soldiers, bound not by rank or fame, but by something far stronger, courage, sacrifice, and dignity. And in that moment, the world remembered a simple truth. Respect doesn't come from medals or titles. It comes from the heart that earned them.